Right. Okay. Good morning. Welcome back here. පළවෙනි දවසේ නේද? Right. Welcome to the class 2026 A-level accounting theory class. Right. So yesterday I have started the paper revision class and we discussed about the class procedure as well as our LMS system, and we did few things regarding the our main class. I mean, we started the accounting and its need revision session, and after that I'm going to do the past paper discussion, right? So now I told you in here, now since we need to go quickly, I told you in here. So what I am going to do, this is the syllabus, right? So out of these things I told you, we need to quickly go to the things in here. First two lessons will be covered in the paper revision class with the revision plus past paper. Today I'm going to start from the third lesson, recording business transaction and events based on the double entry system, right? Which means the double entry system. I want to see everyone, so make sure to turn on the videos, right? Okay, cool. Can you all please turn on the videos, right? Then it will be a good one, right? I'll give you a few minutes, right? Okay, nice. now දැන් මේ පටන් ගත්ත ගමන්ම දේවල් ටිකක් කියන්න ඕනේ මොකද්ද කියලා. පළවෙනි එක තමයි මේ සමහර ළමයි කතා කරලා මට කිව්වා සර් මම කොහොම හරි මේක හොඳට කරගන්න ඕනේ. මට අයිලන්ඩ් රෑන්ක් එකක් දාන්න ඕනේ කියලා. වුණේ නේද දාන්න බන්න තමයි. right? අයිලන්ඩ් රෑන්ක් එකක් දාගන්න ඕනේ. මට බැරි වෙයිද දන්නේ බයයි කියලා කිව්වා. බය වෙන්න එපා. කල් තියෙනවා හොඳටම. අපිට කරගන්න පුළුවන්. We can do it, right? And we can have enough time. Then it's okay, right? Don't be afraid because we can do it, right? Because we have enough time. And I told you, now I'm not going to miss any class from here in onwards, right? And everything will be covered properly. And in the previous class I have covered at least up to 4. These are the main things I want to concern. And I have another new plan for grade 13 students. I will tell you how to do it, right? For grade 13 I have another new thing, right? New procedure, right? Video on කරගමු ඈ. සුප්ටි වෙලාවක් හැමෝම පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්නත් හරි වීඩියෝ ඔන් කරගන්න බෑ. මට දැන් හැමෝම ඩිස්ප්ලේ වෙනවා. දැන් මම කිව්වනේ මතර වෙනම ඩිස්ප්ලේ එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ පෙන්නනවා. For grade 13 I think in here also I can see Pariha, Sitman. There will be another new thing, new things in here. I will tell you how I am going to cover it, right? Then we can have a clear idea, right? Okay, cool. Just give me 1 minute. Right. Okay. Now, when it comes to this one, let's go to here. Let's start the third lesson, recording the business transaction and events based on based on the double entry system. I have already sent you my tute, right? So I have already sent you my tute. Hope you can remember the tute. Let me show it to you. Right, double entry system, right? And we discussed this one, but I'm going to quickly recap the knowledge, right? Are you here? Can you hear me? Send me a thumbs up. I'm going to quickly recap the knowledge in here. Double entry system, right? Okay. Now, in first lesson, we just discussed about the accounting introduction. And the second lesson, we discussed the accounting equation. Now, third lesson, double entry system. So, we are starting from here in the theory class. So, past papers will be covered in the paper revision class, right? This system was introduced by the Luca Pacioli, right? So now there are 5 accounting elements, right? So there are 5 accounting elements. These accounting element knowledge will be covered in the paper revision class, because you have somewhat knowledge, but I'll give you a quick thing. Assets, liability, equity, income and expenses. These are the 5 accounting elements. Hope you can remember, right? So normally assets means something belongs to the business, something owned by the business, right? Okay. So liabilities are payables of the business, the simplest term. The definition is much broader than this. Equity means the owner's contribution, right? And income means inflow to the business, something inflow to the business. It can be happen in different ways. It can be uh, generate through cash inflow, right? It can be generate through liability decrease. Understand? So it can be generate through equity increase. Likewise, income can be happen in various things. It can be happen through asset increase. Likewise, by I mean like the now there are different ways, right? Expenses means outflow from the business, right? It can be happen through uh, along with the asset decrease, right? It can be happen along with the liability increase, equity decrease. Likewise, those are the five accounting elements simply. Are you okay up to here? Send me a thumbs up, right? Are you okay up to here? Send me a thumbs up, right? Okay, cool. Double entry system, unit 3, ledger, trial balance, everything. You need to have a quickly idea: type of ledger account, asset, expense, income, liability, equity. I'll tell you the things quickly. Then we can move to the financial statements as well, right? The dual impact of transactions, right? Now assets and expenses we take into one part. Asset and expenses increase debit, decrease credit. Equity, income and liability increase credit, decrease debit. This is how it goes, right? So ko video on karagamba na sandil linga ne, right? Right, udah balagin. Ari, can you hear me, Sandil? Send me a thumbs up. Right. Okay, cool. Now, in here, uh, asset and expense increase debit, decrease credit. Equity, income and liability increase credit, decrease debit. I told you how to remember it. You can remember it like this. In here, X, we can write it as X, and in here, LIEQ, lie, right? So those who are not having adequate knowledge in these things, we can cover up in the paper revision class uh, uh, when we discuss the our next lesson. I mean previous lesson, right? Okay, right. So in here, let's go to here, right? Recording business transactions and events. Under this unit, following areas are highlighted: classification of accounts in the ledger. A transaction has a dual effect, dual aspects, right? Recording of dual aspects of transaction under double entry system: ledger account, trial balance, statement of profit or loss, statement of financial position, right? Okay, so introduction. Now, before moving to the introduction, let's write the heading in your writing book. Make sure to write the heading in your writing book. Take out your writing book. Dual impact of transaction, which means the double entry system. Write the heading. Double entry system. Right? Write the heading. Let me use another color pen. Right. Right. I'll use like white. Hope you can see the screen. Double entry. Can you hear me, guys? Send me a thumbs up. I want to see everyone. Nah, it's really bad not turning video, right? Okay, I can understand. Sometimes you may having different matters. Right. Write the heading. Okay, guys. Just give me 1 minute. Right. Okay. Now every transaction has a dual effect. Now there are five accounting elements. Because of a transaction, we can identify dual aspects, right? So now it can be like increase or decrease. Now there are five accounting elements, right? Now out of these five accounting elements, one or two or more than that can be increase or decrease, but the majorly it's a two dual impact. For an example, when the business get cash, which means when owner invest money to the business, cash asset increase. In parallel with that, equity, capital equity increases. You know about that, right? When the now we identify business and the owners are two different parties. So to represent owners, we are having equity concept, right? Equity. Now, when the business get cash, cash asset increase. However, who invested, right? So cash asset increase. In parallel with that, since invested by the owner, capital equity increases. Easy clear to send me a thumbs up, right? Then owner කියන්නේ එක පාටි එකක්, business එක කියන්නේ තව පාටි එකක්. Owners level සල්ලි දැම්මොත් equity increase වෙනවා. ඒත් එක්කම cash increase වෙනවා. මොකද business එකට cash හම්බෙච්ච නිසා. Right? So likewise now sometimes it can be both asset increase. Now for an example, when the business purchase stocks, can anyone tell me what is the dual effect? When the business purchase stocks, dual effect, I'm not the double entry, purchase stocks, cash asset decrease, stock asset increase. Can you remember? Stocks are asset, I told you, right? So stocks are asset, but when it comes to double entry, we separate it in another way, right? Okay. Now, once a transaction happen, right? Once a transaction happen, quickly we prepare a source document. ඒවා මං කරා කලින් ඉතින් ආයෙත් අග්ගාලා කරන්න අලුතෙන් ඉන්න අයටත් බලන්න document. Then we record in the prime entry book. Prime entry books. Then the ledger. Then the trial balance. There are many more. When the finally financial statement. Now I told you in A levels, right? Now why we need the double entry system to record the transactions in the ledger? Because in A levels, none of any primary book perform the dual function. Every primary book perform the primary book function only. Is it clear to you? Send me a thumbs. Every primary book perform only the primary book function, not the dual effect. Like cash book, right? It's also cash receipt journal, cash payment journal. We categorize it. Understand? So now we record the transactions in the double entry. We record the transactions in the ledger using double entry principle, right? So double entry means what? Debit or credit, right? Debit and credit. Hope you can remember. Pain nanny. I'll use another color. Right. So debit and credit. Hope you can remember. That is what we call as double entry system, right? Now because of one transaction, one account debit and one account credit. For an example, think where owner invested money rupees 70,000. Let's take an example, right? Still you can't, since this is the beginning part, you can't quickly move to the double entry. Because of that, what I am going to do, can do like this. I'll use this one, right? You know, cash asset increase because cash belongs to the business. Cash asset increase, right? Capital, equity increase, right? So we call this one as the dual effect. This is the dual effect. Okay, guys, this is the dual effect. This is the dual effect. මේවා ලේසි මම මේ පොඩි එකේම පටන් ගන්න ඊට පස්සේ දෙන්නම් අමාරු, right? Now let's go to the double entry. Right, now I told you, asset and expenses, X increase debit, decrease credit. Lie, increase credit, decrease debt. Now since owner invested money but business get cash asset increase. When asset increase, it's debit. So cash control account, debit. Hope you can remember, I told you අර කලින් පන්තියේ මතකද මං කිව්ව control account එක මතක නම් දාන්න thumbs up. Cash control, can you remember? Cash receipt journal and cash payment journal recording the cash control account, right? Because there are control account and the subsidiary ledger, control account and the subsidiary accounts, right? So then since owner invested capital, when equity increases, it's credit. Capital account credit, right? So that is the double entry, right? Now when it comes to this one, what is the term called double entry system? Right? So that is the term double entry system. What is the term called this double entry system? Double entry right? Every transaction must be recorded at least 2 accounts, 2 or more accounts in the ledger after preparing a source document and recorded in the time entry book. For an example, 2 or more account, right? Let's write some example. දැන් ඔයාලට වැට් එහෙම මතකයි නේද? වැට් මතක නම් දාන්න බාන thumbs up දෙන්නට කට්ටිය කතා කරන පොඩි වෙලාවක් අනේ වීඩියෝ ඔන් කරගන්න. ආදරේනේ. ආදරේටනේ කියන්නේ. ඔබාන. ආදරේ නැද්ද මට? වීඩියෝ ඔන් කරගන්න බා. නරක ළමයි නේ. ආදරෙන් කියන්නේ. කො. ඔයි නම්මා. ඔයි කොබාන් කො. කොබාන් කට්ටිය. good morning. Good morning. හා ඔය ඉන්නේ ලස්සන. චෙන්ද්‍රි නම් තාම චුට්ටක් දොයි මතේ වගේ ඉන්නේ. ඉන්නේ කන්නාඩි ගැලුවම හරි වෙනස් නේ. නැද්ද? right. ඉක්මන මොකද්ද කනෙක්ෂන් ඉෂුව එකක් තියෙනකොට සර් අපි ලැප් එක හදලා දෙන්න. සර් එහෙනම් ලැප් එක හදලා දෙන්න. ලැප් එකෙන් ඉන්නවනේ ෆෝන් එකෙන්. මේක හොඳයිනේ මේ සෙටින් එක හොඳයිනේ. අපි මේකේ තඩි ගණන් ටිකක් හදමු. මට දැන් හරි සතුටුයි මේකේ ගණන් ටිකක් හදාගෙන ඉන්නත් දලබඩ ගාලා එහාට. අවුලක් නැහැ නේ. right. එතකොට මේ දැන් මම මේක ඉක්මනට කවර් කරගන්න වෙනම වැඩපිළිවෙලක් තියෙනවා. මට පොඩ්ඩක් කියනවනේ ඉස්කෝලේ මොන ලෙසන් එකේදී ඉන්නේ? චෙන්ඩි. ඉස්කෝලේ මොන ලෙසන් එකේදී? සඳි. අයිඩියා ගන්න. ඉස්කෝලේ පොත බලන්න ඕනද? මොන ලෙසන් එකේදී? ඉක්ම මල්ලි නෑ යන්නේ නෑ නේද? ඉස්කෝලේ බාන්න. වීඩියෝ ඔන් කරන් ඉමු කට්ටිය. කො ඉස්කෝලේ මොන පොතේදී මොන ලෙසන් එකේදී? පළවෙනි එකේ. තාම ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් කවද? අයිඩියා ගන්න.
අපිට
ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ මොකද?
තාම ටර්ම් ටෙස්ට් නැහැ.
තාම කිව්වේ නැහැ. රයිට්. හරි. එතකොට මේ ස්පෙක්ස් නැතුව නෙමෙයි නිදිමත ඒ වගේ ෆයිනෑන්ස් finance statements of sole proprietorship. right. Cool. right. එතනට යන්න ටක් ගන්න. හරි. එතකොට මේ මොනවාද? හොඳයි අවුල. කොමාරි ටක් ගාලා යනවා දැන් මේ මම එක්ස්ට්‍රා ක්ලාස් වගේක් දාන්න ඉන්නේ මේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි බලමු කොමාරි ක්ලාස් ටිකක් දාලා කරගන්න. පුළුවන්ද මේ සමුද මන්ඩේ ඩියුස් නිවාඩු නේද? මන්ඩේ ඩියුස් නිවාඩු නේද? අවුලක් නැහැ. සිද්ම 25 එකකට මම මන්ඩේ ඩියුස් දෙකකින් එකක් දාන්න ඉන්නේ මම කියන්නම්. morning time. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට 25 අයට Friday morning වැටෙයි. Friday morning ගන්න ඉන්නේ. මොකද මට ඒතර 25 අයට මෙහි කරන්න පුළුවන් Friday morning. right? එතකොට අවුලක් නැහැ නේ සිද්ම. Friday morning, early morning, right? හරි. අපි කියමු මම ඉස්සරහට කතා කරන්න, right? Okay. Then you know homimu off කරන තෝ homimu game, right? Okay. So you know because of every transaction must be recorded at least 2 or more counts, right? Because which means there is a dual effect. There is a dual effect. Cool. Let's write some examples. Right. Sold goods rupees 7,000 on credit basis. Right. When we sell our goods on credit basis, you know the dual effect. මම මේවා කලින් කරා මම ආයේ වෙනම chart එකක් දෙන්නම් අපි බලමු වැටුත් දාලා අනම්මනම් දාලා. right? When it comes to the dual effect, right? You know now the one who take our goods on credit basis, I told you we identify as a debtor. Debtor asset increase. Can you remember, guys? Upping stocks credit basis sarang and stocks, I told you that is the important part in the business. It depends on business to business. So the business stocks depends on the business cooperation. Right? You know, now when it comes to the goods, it depends on the business. Sometimes in a car sale, the cars available for the resale purpose we concern as a stock. But in a like think about Munchie, Melbourne, they concern vehicles, which means cars available as non-current assets, because those are not for the resale purpose. Everything available for the resale purpose we identify stocks. Stocks sarang yana eta api kiyනවා debtors කියලා. Debtor asset increase, right? And since stock decrease, stock asset decrease. අයි අරගෙන යනවනේ. සල්ලි එන්නේ පස්සේ. මම මේ මුල ඉඳන් බිඳුවේ ඉඳන් කරන්නේ තේරෙනවද? මේක කරා කලින් දෙතුන් පාරක්. හරිද? right? Okay. Now let's go to the double entry. Double entry. Right? Now stock asset increase. So sorry, debtor asset increase. When asset increase, it's debit. Debtor account debit 7,000. Right? Stock asset decrease, I told you in here, you know. Now when it comes to stock purchase and sales, this is purchase, sales, make it right? Now when we purchase stocks on, it can be, we can purchase on cash or credit. This is all about only stocks, cash or credit, right? When we purchase stocks, the dual effects all about stock asset. Right? So now purchase stock asset increase. Right? This is the dual effect. Dual effect. Now when it comes to double entry, you know, right? Purchase expense increase, either cash or credit. Now when it comes to stock sales, you know, stock asset decrease, because it's going out. This is the dual effect. When it comes to double entry, sales income increase. This is the double entry. Right? Now you know, when it comes to this part, since we sold, stock asset decrease, right? Stock asset decrease. So when it comes to the double entry, sales income increase. When income increase, it's credit. So sales account credit 7,000. This is one example. Let's go to the another example. Okay, let's concern about VAT. Right? Purchase stocks rupees 76,000, including rupees 6,000 VAT. Can anyone tell me the dual effect and the double entry? I want the both. I want both. Dual effect and the double entry. right? Now this is including values. I told you because of a transaction there should be at least two effects, but sometimes it can be two or more effects including values. එක අලුතෙන්ම ඉගෙන ගන්න අයට මතක නැතුව ඇති. Can you remember there are two types of VATs? Can anyone tell me what are the two types of VATs?
On purchase,
Sorry?
bet on sale, on
Input and output VATs. Can you remember? There are two types of VATs, input VATs and the output VATs. Input VATs means what? Right? There are two types of VATs, input VATs and the output VATs. Input VATs means VAT charge based on the purchase, which means the input sources. කියන්නේ business එක ගන්නේවට ගහන VAT. මං කියන්නේ තේරෙනවද? Right? Output VATs are that charge for the sales, which means business output. This is input VAT. Output means business එකෙන් එළියට යන ඒවා. ඇතුලෙන් එළියට යන ඒවාට ගහන VAT එක. VAT charge for the value added to the business. That's why value added tax. Can you remember? Right? Purchase stocks on 70,000, 6,000, including 6,000 VAT on cash basis. Let's take cash basis. You know, purchase and sales accounts should be identified excluding the VAT. Right? Now you know. මම මේ සම්පූර්ණ අච්චාරුවක් කරලා ඔක්කොම එකට ඔලුවට දාන්නේ. අවුලක් නැහැ නේ. තේරෙනවනේ මේ අර quick revision එකක්. Hello, can you hear me? Fine. Right? දැන් මම අච්චාරුවක් වගේ ඔලුවට දාන්න ඒකට හේතුව මොකද මේ ටික කරපු නිසා සහ අලුතෙන් එන අයටත් තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න මේ එකම දාලා කරන්නේ. ඔයා දන්නවා මේ තියෙන බිස්. එයා VAT register වෙනවා. VAT register business වලට විතරයි මේක අදාළ වෙන්නේ. මම දුන්නා thresholds ඔක්කොම මම ඉස්සරහදී දෙන්න. Right? VAT register business එක input VAT තියෙනවා and we can identify output VAT. What is the term called input VATs? Right? Input VAT එක කියන්නේ business එකෙන් input කරන ඒවට. ඒ කියන්නේ like purchases වලට ගහන VAT. Output VAT means sales වලට ගහන VAT. Right? You know, VAT can be set off. Set off means what? දැන් VAT කියන්නේ අපිට input VAT වලට output VAT set off කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් ඔයා sell කරොත් ඔයාට ඔයා VAT collect කරගෙන ඒක රජයට දෙනවා. ඔයා VAT collect කරගෙන ඒක රජයට ගෙවනවා. ඔයා sell කරොත් ඔයා purchase කරොත් ඔයාගෙන් VAT වෙන අය ගන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ VAT collect කරනවා. එතන VAT pay කරනවා. මමයි pay කරන්නේ. ඔයා pay කරන ගානට ඔයාගෙන් collect කරපු ගාන set off කරගන්න පුළුවන්. Can you remember? The second time I'm going to right? දැන් හිතන්න හරියට නිකන් මොනවාද මේ වගේ කියන්නේ දැන් හිතන්න ඔයාට මොන හරි හම්බෙනවා නේද? ඒ දැන් ඔයා අපි ගමු සඳිල් මොනවාද සිත්මට තෑග්ගක් දෙන්න. මං කියන එක තේරෙනවද? right? සඳිල් දෙනවා සිත්මට තෑග්ගක්. හරිද? ඊට පස්සේ සිත්මට හම්බෙනවා චෙනුරගෙන් තෑග්ග. හරිද? පොඩක් පැටලෙනවා. හොඳට. සඳිල් දෙනවා සිත්මට තෑග්ග. දැන් සිත්ම තමයි බිස්නස්. හරිද? දැන් අපි අනිත් පැත්ත කරමු. සිත්ම දෙනවා සඳිල්ට තෑග්ග. සිත්ම තමයි මේ ඉන්නේ. right? සිත්ම දෙනවා සඳිල්ට තෑග්ග. ඒ වගේම සිත්මට චෙනුරගෙන් තෑග්ගක් හම්බ වෙනවා. මං කියන්නේ තේරෙනවද? එතකොට සිත්ම චෙනරුට මේ මොනවාද සඳිල්ට තෑග්ගක් දුන්නානේ. එතනදර සඳිල්ට දුන්නාම හිතන්න මොකක් හරි තෑග්ගක් කියන මොන හරි දෙනවා කියලා හිතන්නකෝ මොන හරි දෙනවා කියලා. රයිට්. ඒකෝට දැන් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔය සමහර gift අනම්මනම් වලට ඒ කියන්නේ gift කියන්නේ මේ normally දෙන gift නෙමෙයි. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ඔය properties අනම්මනම් gift උනත් government එක ඒකට tax එකක් ගහනවා. කියලා තියෙනවා. රයිට්. normally ඔයා දන්නවා. රයිට්. ඒවත් VAT වලට අපි හිතමු සිත්ම ඉඩමක් දෙනවා සඳිල්. ඊට පස්සේ චෙනුරි දෙනවා සිත්මට මොනවාද මොකක් හරි අඩි වාහනයක් නේද අර දිග කන්ටේනර් එක කන්ටේනර් පෙට්ටිය තේරෙනවද රයිට් එතකොට දැන් සිත්ම සඳිල්ට තෑග්ගක් දෙද්දි තෑග්ග නෙමෙයි මොන හරි දෙන එකේදී සිත්ම දෙද්දි ඒකට VAT liable වෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න තෑග්ග නෙමෙයි මොන හරි දෙන එකේ VAT liable වෙනවා රයිට් එතකොට සිත්ම දෙන ගානට VAT එකතු වෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න රයිට් ඒ වගේම දැන් සිත්ම ටැග් ගන්න මේ අපි නිකන් ගමු මොන හරි සල්ලි වලට දෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න ටැග් එකක් ගත්තොත් නිකන් පොරක් නිකන් අවුල් වගේ නවාට හිතනවා ටැග් එකක් දෙද්දි සර් මොනවද සල්ලි ගන්න නැහැ මම කියන එක තියෙනවා ටැග් ගන්න මේ මොන හරි දෙනවා කියලා හිතන්න සිත්ම සඳිල්ට සල්ලි වලට දෙන්න උනා සිත්ම සඳිල්ට සල්ලි වලට දෙද්දි ඒකට සිත්ම VAT රෙජිස්ටර් නිසා සිත්ම VAT charge කරාම සිත්ම need to pay it to the government think the VAT is around like 10,000 right and January giving something to the SITMA. So January now when we January also registered to the VAT and January දෙද්දි January දෙන එකේ VAT include එතකොට SITMA ගන්න January ට VAT එක දෙනවා VAT වල rupees 4000 include يعني දෙන value එකට අමතරව හිතන්න ලක්ෂයක දෙන්නේ 4000ක් එකතු කරලා මෙයාගෙන් 1,40,000ක්ම ගන්නවා 104,000. එතන හිතන්න ලක්ෂ 2යි 10000ක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මෙතන මං කිව්වා 10000ක් තියෙනවා. එතන 4,000 තියෙනවා. 10,000 and 4,000. සඳිල්ට දෙන එකේ 10,000 එක 210,000 තමයි දෙන්නේ. එතන 10,000 plus 4,000 14,000 තමයි January ගන්න. Now this can be set off, right? You know, SITMA only need to pay how much? 6,000 to the government. Why? You collected for 10,000, you paid 4,000 to the January, so you only need to pay. We can now, when we collect that, liability increase because it's payable to the government. When we pay that liability decrease because we are we can set off against the output VAT. This is output VAT. Is it clear to you guys? Hello, can we hear? Right? So this is how it goes. So SITMA only need to pay 6,000 to the government. Now when it comes this one, when we purchase something, our VAT liability decrease. Now the out of the 76,000, 6,000 is VAT. You know, stock asset increase. Stock asset increase 70,000. මම එකපාර ඔලුවට දාන්නේ right then VAT liability decrease, can you remember? Decrease 6,000. Why? When we purchase, VAT liability decrease, we debit to the VAT control account, right? And cash asset decrease. Totally we are paying 76,000. I told you why I took this one. You know, because of a transaction there can be 3 entries. So you know, I told you when it comes to stock asset increase, right? Purchase account debit, I told you, purchase account debit by purchase expensing 70. VAT account also debit 6,000. Cash account credit 76. Now what I want to tell you in here, you know, Because of one transaction, at least one account should be debit, one account should be credit. But now the total sum should be equal. We can take like 5 debit accounts and 2 credit accounts, okay? But the total sum should be equal. Are you okay up to here? Cool, right? The main concern about the sum should be equal, right? All right. I'll give you a few minutes. Let's go to the things in here. Then we can go to the now the quick summary. Double entry system, right? You know there are 5 accounting elements: asset, liability, equity, income, and expenses. And remember, guys, right? Asset are something belongs to the business. Liabilities are payables of the business. Equity means owner's contribution. Income means inflow, outflow. Everything will be covered in the paper revision class. So the අහු කර කර ඉන්න බෑ ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොනවා හරි ඉගෙනගෙන තියෙනවනේ කාලේ මං කියන එක තේරෙනවද, right? Now when it comes to one transaction, one account should be debit, one account should be credit in the ledger, right? For an example, see, when owner invested money, just think business get money, so cash asset increase. When asset increase, you know it's debit, I told, right? When since owner invested money, owner's ownership increase, so there is a separate owner's ownership. We identify it as a equity, capital equity increase. Are you okay up to here? Right? Okay. Then that is how it goes, right? And then after that we discuss in here, right? So what is the term called double entry system, right? So then this is the double entry system. You know, main thing, purchase and sales I discussed, because stocks are assets, something belongs to the business. But when it comes to the double entry, we identify stocks as purchase and sales. Why? We need to calculate the profit generated through stocks. Got it? Right? Profit එක ගණන් කරන්න, you know, profit means income minus expenses, right? So profit means income minus expenses. So to calculate the profit, we identify sales as income because we sell goods by adding a margin. We purchase stocks based on the cost. අපි 100ට ගත්ත එක කඩුම 101ට විකුණන්න. එතකොට එකක් ලාභයි. So stocks එකක් 100ට ගත්තොත් අපි 101ට නම් විකුණන්නේ අපිට රුපියලක් ලාභයි. ඒකයි අපි stock asset උනාට business එකට අයිති උනාට stock ගද්දී අපි purchase expense එක වැඩි කරන්නේ. Stock sell කරද්දී sales income එක වැඩි කරන්නේ. Income minus expenses means the profit. Got it? Right? So I think ආයි කරන්නේ. අඳිල් මට ඇනිකක් දෙනවා කියලා කියනවා මේ ෆෝන් එක. right. මොකද්ද මන්ස අඳිල් මට මැනිකක් දෙනවද කියලා අහනවා මන් දන්නවා, right? හරි, okay, right. Now this is kind of an example including the VAT, right? Okay, can you please write it? Okay, before that let's go to the tute again back. Let's go to the tute again. Let me go to the tute. Right. Now you can see in here, right? You can see in here, right? Introduction. The business obtained a bank loan of 500,000. Due to the above transaction, you can see what has happened, right? Cash asset and the bank loan liability have increased by the same amount, right? The value of the resources of the business has changed. Accordingly, the above transaction has the basic features of a transaction. It has a dual aspects, and it should be accounted in the books of account maintained in the business under the double entry system. The value of asset, liability, equity, income, and expenses of the entity changed due to the transaction and events. Double entry principle. The dual aspects of a transaction, debit and credit, is recorded in the ledger accounts under the double entry principle. We record everything in the ledger, I'll tell you. According to the double entry system, each debit entry has a corresponding credit entry, and each credit entry has a corresponding debit entry. The basic foundation of accounting is double entry system. It was introduced by Luca Pacioli in 1494. ඒතර ඔයාගේ ගිය ආත්මෙට කලින් ආත්මෙනේ ආත්ම ගානකට කලින් නේ. සමහරට ඔයා කොහෙද දන්නේ නැහැ නේ හිටියේ නේ. Right? According to him, each transaction has two effects called double debit and credit. Then this is the format of the ledger account. The basic format where we can record transaction can be identified as the ledger account. Only the transaction which can be measured by cash are recorded in the ledger account. It has two sides, debit and credit. The format of a traditional ledger account equal to capital T in the English alphabet, and it has shown below. You can see this is the ledger account format. This is the debit side. Date description LF value, date description LF value, right? Okay. අපි මේ ඔක්කොම දාලා එක එක්සැම්පල් එකකට යන් තව ටිකකින් මම ඔක්කොම දාලා එකපාර එක එක්සැම්පල් එකක් දෙනවා till that can you write it? Right, just write after the heading, write this part, double and write this and raise your hands, then I'll show you the other part. Let's take one example and record everything properly. A big one. right? The next part. Once you finish, raise your hands. Pain on it. Easy training, no. අවුව පායලා තියෙන්නේ මෙහි ගැම්ම. අවුලම්. නෑ නෑ බොරු බොරු මෙහෙටත් වහින්න. To finish, raise your hands. When you turn raise your hands, make sure to turn on the videos and wait as well. Right? So you finish, turn on the videos. Sigma, Sandil, once you finish, raise your Sigma, once you done, raise your hand. Right? Can you hear me, guys? Fine. Right. Okay. The final part. Write the source. write this part, and once you finish, raise your hands. To finish, raise your hands. Sandeep, once you finish, raise your You turn on the videos again. Hello, everyone. Koban kattiya. Right. There. Can you hear me? Okay. Right. Now, so you know the ledger account format, right? So if we take the ledger account format, you know, date, description, LF, the value. Date, description, LF, the value. Blank account, the account name. Date, description, ledger folio, and the value. Date, description, LF, and the value. Right? You know, this is the debit side. Debit side, and you know this is the credit side. So in the debit side, this date means transaction date, right? Description means credit entry, credit entry belongs account, because you know belongs account name, credit entry. Credit entry belongs account name, because you know if we record something in the debit for video, other account, now one account debit, other account credit. Are you there? Can you hear me? Oh, right. One account debit, one account credit. Video on karagamba, right? So LF means uh, credit entry, page number, right? Then credit entry at the end. Now you know when it comes to ledger, it is the place where we maintain, where we maintain whole ledger account. Okay, ledger account. You know, ledger accounts we maintain in the ledger. Ledger folio. This LF means ඒක විතරයි පොඩ්ඩක් තියෙන. LF means what? Ledger folio. Now in debit side we record as the description credit entry. For an example, owner invested money to the business 100,000, so cash control account debit. So in the debit side we write the date. On the description we record capital account, because where are the credit entries. LF means then credit entry තියෙන page number එක මොකක්ද කියලා. Where is the page number? Capital account එක තියෙන ledger කියන පොතේ 99 page එකේ නම් we write as 99. Easy. Hello, right? So this is the transaction value. So in here also this is transaction date. Description means on the credit side. Description means you know debit entry belongs account name. This is debit entry page number. Debit entry is in a page number right? Value means transaction value, right? Now when it comes this one, now you know this is the ledger account. This is the debit side and this is the credit side. So what are the things coming to the debit side? You know, asset increase, recording debit side, expense increase, recording debit side. I told you, asset and expenses increase. LIEQ, which means liability, income, and equity. Decrease, decrease. Recording here. On the credit side, asset decrease, expense decrease, liability increase, income increase, equity increase. Recording here. Is it clear to you guys? Send me a thumbs up. Hope it's clear to you. Are you okay up to here? Send me a thumbs up. Turn on the videos. Right, right. Finish the writing here and raise your hands. Let me show. Right. First write this one and raise your hands, then I'll show the other. Then let's go to a calculation. Once you finish, make sure to raise your hands. Once you finish, raise your hands and turn on the videos. Ippa done? Right. Next part here. This one. And raise your hands. Video on karang imu. Turn on the videos and wait. To finish, make sure to raise your hands. Right? Okay, cool. Now let's go to the tute. Right. So, however, the following format also me recorded transactions. You know, අර ඔගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙනවනේ සමහරලාට මේ now we use the ledger account format. Sometimes we can record in the statement format as well. You know, අර ඔයගලන්ට බැංකුවෙන් statement එකක් එහෙම එනවා නේද? දැන් මේ ක්‍රමේදී අපිට ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන්නේ මාසේ අන්තිමට තමයි ඔක්කොම account balance කරන්න වෙන්නේ. You know how to balance a ledger account, right? Hope you can remember. I'll go to the quick summary, right? uh, I'll take cash control account, cash control account, cash control account, right? You know, this is an asset account. You know, asset account, right? So BBF, opening balance, balance brought forward means opening balance. Again, අවුරුද්දේ මුල හරි මාසේ මුල හරි තිබ්බ balance එක හිතන්න 100,000, right? Easy creative guys, salute, right? And we receive from debtors, debtor account credit, cash control account debit, think 50,000. From sales account, cash sales, right? Sales account credit, cash control account debit 70,000, right? Motor vehicle account, මේ මොකද්ද මේ වෙන්නේ? කොහොමද debit වෙන්නේ? 200,000 මේ මොකද්ද මේ? motor vehicle එකක් business එකේ usage එකට තිබ්බ motor vehicle එකක් sell කර. Are you there? Can you hear? Right? Motor vehicle account credit. Why? When we sell our motor vehicle available in the business, motor vehicle account credit, cash control account debit, right? Then we take commission income account, commission income account, which means commission income received to the business. Think 80,000, right? And we paid to creditors, creditor account 50,000. We purchase goods, so purchase account on cash basis 90,000. Rent account 10,000. Motor vehicle account, which means what? We purchase a motor vehicle under, right? Now we can balance this one. Let's balance. You know, 300,000, 380,000. You can use calculators. You need to use calculators. Have you got a calculator? Yes, right? Calculator again, right? So 300,000, 350,000, then 320,000 plus 80 means 400,000. Is that so? Yes, right? So we take the higher value side total and write in the lower value side as well. When it comes lower value side, it's 200,000 in here and 250,000, right? So it's then 250,000. So we need to deduct 400,000 minus the lower value side total. This is the higher value side total. Higher value side total. Value side total. Lower value side total 000. This is the balance available. අතේ තියෙන මෙච්චර ගන්න. Right? This is 150,000. Balance carried down. Balance brought forward. 150. This is the balance available with me Easy creative guys, hello, right? At the end of the transaction. Even we can write, I'll number this one. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? Okay. Now this is ledger account format. Is the ledger form. Ledger form. Even we can use the statement format. The term called statement form. Description, debit, credit, the value. Description, debit, credit, and the value. Right? This is a statement. Right? So debit side now. Now, if it is a cash account, cash statement, right? So in cash, right? Higher debit side is the higher value side, credit side is the lower value side. Sorry, the debit side the increase side, credit side is the decrease side. Easy creative guys, hello, right? Now, when it comes to liability account like creditor account, credit side is the increase side, debit side is the decrease side. So we can write balance brought forward first. In here the balance brought forward how much? Balance brought forward 100,000. So we write in the value. This is a debit value, right? This is a debit value. DER, which means increase side. Right? Number 2, I told you. You can see the number 2 in here. So number 1, debtor account 50,000. So debtor account, we receive cash from debtors of 50,000. So then this increase up to 150,000. Till it's a debit balance. Cash balance never can be credit balance. Easy creative. At every time it is a debit balance. Then next one. This is number 1. Number 2. Let's go to the number 2. මේකේ මේ දෙකේ වෙනස තියෙන්නේ මේකේ මාසේ අන්තිමට balance වෙනවා අරකේ daily balance. Sales account 70,000. Sales account 70,000. So it's 220,000. Right? Still a debit balance. Number 3, creditor account 50,000. Then it's 170, right? Yes, correct, right? Eming inno nidimati mati oh ara මොනවද පරාක්‍රම බාහුව ගෑමින් ඉන්නේ මට හිටියොත් දෙනවා සින්දුවක් කියන්නේ. Number 4, purchase account 90,000. So purchase account 90,000. So it's 80,000 debit, correct? Okay. Let's go to number 5. Rent account 10,000. It is a payment, so 70,000. Maybe. Number 6, motor vehicle account. It's a purchase. We purchase motor vehicle, which is for the business usage purpose, right? 200,000. Number 6, motor vehicle account. So it's increased up to 270,000. It's a debit balance, right? Number 7, motor vehicle selling 100,000. It's a debit, right? Number 8, commission income account 80,000. So is it correct? Right? Then finally, two hundred to 150. Just wait. But the very 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. තුනෙන් දෙකක් ගියාම එකයි. බැලන්ස් එකේ මොකක් කරේ අවුලක් තියෙනවා. Can you help me? කැල් නැතුව එකතු කරලා අඩු කරලා වරදින. Let me see the balance matter in here. Any concern? Let's see. ගැම්මෙන් ඉන්න ඕනේ කො. It's 150. 150 plus 70, which means 220. Minus 50 minus 90, which means 80. Plus 10 plus 200. 200 plus 10, which means වැරදීනේ මෙතනින් වැරදි. මෙතනින් එහාට වැරදි. Okay. Right? So this is 80, no? Alakiti. Then so this is 220 plus 50 means 270. So 220 plus minus 50, right? Are you there? Can you hear me? Then this is 80. This is 90. Then 290. 190 plus 80, which means 280. I where? Any concern? Take a television. 100 plus 50 plus 70 plus 200 plus 80, which means this is 500. 100 plus 50 plus 70 plus 200 plus 80, which means it's 500. Sorry, it's 500. කියන්නෙත් නෑ ඔහේ මන් දෙන ඕන එකක් ලියා ගන්නවා. එකතු කිරීම අඩු කිරීම නම් මට ඇත්තටම හරිම කම්මැලි. 500. Okay. Is it correct? Okay. Right. It's 500. The smart board එකේ පොඩි එකක් දැන් සඳිට කියමු push up 10ක් ගන්න. ඉතින් මට යද්දි සඳිල්ල push up 10ක් ගන්න. මම නම් දන්නේ 50 90 110. It's 200. So in here balan 100,000 plus 50 plus 70 plus 200 plus 80, which means 500. I'm writing in here 500. So in here higher value side total 500,000. Lower value side total, let's take 50 plus 90, which means 140 plus 10 plus 100, which means 250. So it's 250. දැන් මේකේ මොකද්ද වෙනස බලන්න. So 100 plus 50, which means 150, plus 70 means 220, minus 50 means 170, minus 90 means 80, plus 10 means 90, minus plus 200 means 290, minus 100 means 190, plus 80 means 270. Debit side තියෙන්නේ 50 70. Let's see the debit side තියෙන්නේ 50 70 280. 50 70 208. Rent account credit no ayyo, rent we are paying. That is the thing. Rent we are paying. Sorry. Right, ඒක තමයි වැරදුනේ. Right, rent we are paying. So rent 50 90 10 100. 50 90 10 100. Okay, now it's 70,000 in here. 270 170 170 plus 80, which means 200. Thank God. Right, balances matter. Okay, finish it and raise your hands. Both sides are done. Hurry up, let's go to a calculation. What again? 10ක් හොඳ නෑ 8 4ක් ගහන්නලු push up. අවුලන්නේ. Ride it. Hey idiot, ride it. කම්මැලිකම බෑ. ජිම් යන කොල්ලෝ ගැම්මෙන් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඕම නෙමෙයි ඉන්නේ. අයි. දන්නවා. පොඩ්ඩක් ඔයා වගේ තමයි. right. සයිස් එකේ හැටියට නැද්ද චෙන්ඩු? ඔබාන් කට්ටිය විඩියෝන් කරගන්න බාන්න. ආව එනවනේ. රයිට්. හරි. අපි යන් දැන් ටියුට් එකට අපි ගානක් කරමු. Right. Ledger, classification of ledger. Hope you can remember general ledger and the subsidiary ledger I told you. Right. The next lesson. The ledger that includes all types of accounts. The general ledger is used to prepare the trial balance. Subsidiary ledger I told you, like we can categorize the ledger into general ledger and the subsidiary ledger. For an example, think there are 500 debtors. We can maintain all the debtors in the subsidiary ledger, and to represent all the debtors, we can take one account to the general ledger. For an example, we are selling to debtors in different amounts, right? When we sell the stocks to debtors account debit. Think 1 million, debtor 8, 10,000, likewise. When the total sell is 1 million. So we can open different ledger debtors accounts in the subsidiary ledger, and in the general ledger we can maintain only one common account. We can maintain one common account, and we can represent as sales in the debit side 1 million. It's easy. Then we can reduce the number of ledgers in the general ledger. So subsidiary ledger we are maintaining in another different book. The ledger means the general ledger. Subsidiary ledger is another thing. Right? Classification of the ledger accounts: asset, liability, equity, income and expense accounts. Right? You can see the resources controlled by entity that with an intention of generating future economic benefits are known as assets. Assets have the following features: as a result of past transaction and an event, future economic benefits controlled by the business. Which of the following character is an asset? It is resource controlled by the business. Future economic benefits are expected to inflow to the firm. The cost of value can be measurable reliably. This is asset identification characteristic, right? This asset identification character. Asset identification. अब मैं कराने ला मैं कालिम बन कराने, right? This is the asset identification character. So only A and B. So number 2. Which of the following is an essential character of an asset? Having a limited useful life. Lands have unlimited liability. Right? Tangible, brand, unintangible. Arising from the future transaction or events. Embodying future economic benefits. Control over economic benefits always stems from the legal ownership. Which of the following is an essential character? An essential character. Having limited useful life, lands having unlimited liability. Tangible, arising from the future transaction or event. Embodying future economic benefits. Control over economic benefits always stems the legal ownership. What is the answer? Number 4. Embodying future economic benefits. Easy, clear? Oh, turn on the video. Embodying future economic benefits. Having future economic benefit means it is an essential characteristics. Okay, guys. Okay. Right. Then done. Fine. Did we discuss this one? Yes, right? Okay. Now let's go to the other one. Right. Okay. Assets are classified as in the financial statements current assets and non-current assets. Asset with a useful life less than 1 year, it is a current asset. Assets with a useful life more than one financially, it is a non-current assets. Liability account. Present obligation of an entity which has arising as a result of past transaction or event is treated as a liability. There will be outflow of resources to settle the liability in the future. Accordingly, liability has following features: result of a past transaction and event, present obligation, outflow on resources in the future when the settlement is made. So the future economic benefits are outflow, you can write when the settlement is made. When the settlement is made. State the three main characteristics of liability as per the framework for preparation and presenting financial statements. Arose as a result of past transaction, outflow of future economic benefits when the settlement is made, having a current obligation. Okay, guys, finish it and raise your hand. All good? Right. Next one. Liabilities are classified non-current liability and current liability. If the liability is settled within after one financial day, which means doesn't mean we are not paying. We are paying, but installment wise. The total time take more than 1 year, so it's a non-current liability. Current liability means as liabilities which we need to settle within one current year, right? So equity and income expenses, I'll finish it. ඒවා ඉතින් මම දැන් ඉන්න ළමයි එක කලින් කරා මම මේවා ගොඩක් කරා නමුත් I'll do it again for a recap. Now and the other thing what I want to tell you in here, right? Right. Right. So when it comes to the syllabus, you need to check this one now. ඒවා දන්නවනේ syllabus එක. අපි ඉන්නේ third එකේ. First one done. Accounting equation done. Recording business transaction and event based on the double entry system. Is it clear to you guys? Hello, are you there? Right. So these are the competency disclose and the importance of the double entry principle when the recording transaction events in accounts. Recording transaction of a business. So these are the two things: dual effect, double entry system, general ledger, subsidiary ledger. මම මේ කරණේවා මේකට according ද කියලා බලන්න. Dual aspects of a transaction, double entry මම මේ කරපු ටික ඔක්කොම ඒකට according මම කියලා දෙන්නේ, right? Syllabus එකට according ද කියලා බලන්න. If there is anything, let me know. මොකද මම බල්ලම තමයි හදන්නේ. ඒක නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ බලන්න දැන් ඔයගොල්ලොත් මම දෙන නිකාය ගැන මේ ඔක්කොම හැමතිස්සෙම මේ සිලබස් එක prefer කරන්න. Understand? Right? Okay, so this is enough for today. This is I have finished the day 1. Day 2 is about the double entries and the recording the transactions. And after that, let's move the prime entry book. I'll send you the full prime entry book. මේවා මම මේ ටියුට් එකත් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා LMS එකට. අර කලින් ඊයේ කරපු එකත් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා LMS එකට. past papers ටිකත් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා LMS එකට. ඔක්කොම ටික. තේරුණාද ළම? Understand? ඔක්කොම past papers ටිකත් අප්ලෝඩ් කරනවා. ටියුට්ස් විදිහට. ඔය අද ලියපු නෝට් එක LMS එකට අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න ඕනේ. මම අද රෑට ඕපන් කරනවා. පෝර්ටල් එකක් බංකුව අර ඩේලි නෝට් චෙක් කරනවා. can you remember? right? අද ලියපු නෝට් එක PDF එකක් විදිහට හදලා LMS එකට අප්ලෝඩ් කරන්න. any got it? Right? Okay, so 2025, let's meet 10:30. Thank you for the participation. Have a nice day.
Thank you.